Yeah, but I mean, because it's turkey, so like it's just whatever sauces you might use on a turkey sandwich. So like if you really like turkey and mayo, maybe a turkey burger with like maybe a spicy mayo or an aioli sauce or something like that would be really good. I don't like mayo sauces or anything like that, so I'm kind of limited on my choices.
I'm gonna tell you, peanut butter and bacon on a burger. Awesome. Ew. Hey everybody! So what you guys all missed? What you guys all missed was me saying, "Hey, I lost the Zagnut bars. We can't find them. We looked all over. There's not that many places to look in this house." Zagnut bars, like Clark Bar, since McLeod mentioned Clark bars previously. Reacher, right? Reacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was on Reacher.
And so you can't find Clark bars anymore. Boyer bought the mix, and I'm gonna adjust my camera just a little bit right here, because they only make them as cups now, like Reese's cups, like Clark cups. Kind of sucks, but the Zagnut has the same inside as a Clark bar, so you could imagine it just chocolate covered instead of having the coconut on the outside.
You just imagine the chocolate, right?
Just imagine it instead of the little coconut thing. But we don't even have the Zagnut bars. We can't even show them. So like that's like screwed. So we're just terrible.
That right is just the best life advice ever. Just imagine the chocolate.
Yeah. And sorry, and sorry we missed last week, folks.
It worked in Hook. It was fine.
Oh, that's true. Well, they did make imaginary food, which looked amazing. I wanted some of those giant turkey legs and the pork and everything they had. Oh,
turkey legs.
And all the pie. I got to say, though, all the desserts were literally just like piles of colored cream.
Whipped cream.
Yeah,
colored whipped cream.
Was.
But the...
You know what? Binging with Babish did like an episode of that. Like where they did sort of that sort of stuff. Which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I watched Binging with Babish do the like 500 layer croissant from Japan, which is an anime.
Croissant.
And the idea is that like you do 512 layers to make it really buttery and fluffy, but you burn the outside few layers and then crack it off. He's like, that didn't quite work. Like the outside did burn and the inside was really good, but obviously like the bottom of the croissant doesn't like crack off because it's so like thick and burnt. Yeah. He's like, you get like a tiny little bit of croissant that is, edible. And he's like, and it's not any better than a normal croissant. So
yeah, so it's kind of like, well, why did we burn it?
Why did we
perfectly decent croissant?
Perfectly decent croissant.
Yeah.
So I want to, I don't go to our local baseball stadium very often because our baseball team sucks and our basically.
I mean, to be fair, Eric, I don't go to your local baseball place either that much.
Yeah, but our owner trades off all the good people for really bad, options, picks, and cash, just so they can make money. They lose and make more money than if they won, right? Try to win.
Wait. They're trading people? I thought you guys had a whole war about that.
Yeah. Well, baseball and football players can be traded in their contracts. It's the way it works, okay? So anyway, they
signed their contract away. They signed their life away. It's fine.
Right. So it sucks. So, but at the baseball stadium, if you want to fill up the baseball stadium, you have an outdoor concert there, right? Which they have a ton of. And I just went to see Billy Joel a couple nights ago. It was excellent, awesome. He's really putting on great shows, guys. So if you have the opportunity to see him, definitely see him. Obviously, it was sold out like crazy. But the reason I'm going that direction is because we don't go to baseball games. We don't eat any of the food there. We don't know what it's like. And I just wanted to say, the French fries at the stadium were fantastic. They're some of the best fries I have had in a long time. They must. That is not
true of every stadium.
No, these were awesome, right? These were really good.
I always love the hot dogs only because I really like how it's been sitting in foil steaming for however long, and it makes the bread just soft, and the meat's always like the perfect temperature and stuff.
Yeah,
I can't make it at home to be like that, and I'm so mad.
You can't because you can't get those little foil packs. So
Yeah, Yes, you can.
Most of the
You can
time,
have
it's
a
just
quail tax.
they steam everything, right? But there were a couple places where they grill them and then put them in those steamer packs and keep them steamed. Those are phenomenal. You are right.
Mm-hmm.
But Chicago dogs, man, Chicago's the place for dogs. I love Chicago style dogs. I don't really know Wrangler. I'll tell you, it was $48 for a nachos, a soft pretzel, couple waters, big waters, giant smart waters, right? And a big fry. I mean, the cup was like this big, around this, about this deep, and just filled with fries all the way. It was fantastic. It was great. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't even put ketchup on them. They were so good. I mean, just nothing, just fries. Oh, cheese. They got dipped in some cheese, nacho cheese and stuff.
Of course.
I mean, of course, this is America. For fuck's sake.
And by the way, it wasn't real cheese. It was like that cheese, fake cheese sauce with some real cheese mixed into it and other stuff.
Yeah, like nacho cheese sauce stuff, whatever the hell it is.
You know, Costco hot dogs too, and they don't change the price of those Costco hot dogs either. But yeah, it was actually really good. You know, I mean, we'd kind of eaten a light dinner, but we had some food there before the concert, you know. And
wasn't there a thing about those hot dogs basically being like, the price of these will never change on pain of death or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. I
see they have their priorities.
Yeah, I'm a hot dog fan. I mean, I love hot dogs. I mean, I do. You know, grill them, microwave. It doesn't really matter. It's what you put on them. Grilling's the best. But yeah, I mean, nacho cheese on a hot dog, fabulous. And not the cheese. It's just the cheese. You got to get the good nacho cheese with chunks of peppers and stuff in it already.
Mm-hmm.
That's good
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
So we get like you know, like a 5-pound thing of the nacho cheese before football season starts, which will be coming soon. We just keep it warm, put it on everything. Southerstill is not fighting the cheese thing too hard today, so he must be concentrating on something else.
Yep.
Yeah. You know,
not
yesterday I had a bologna sandwich with American cheese on it. American cheese.
I mean, I like cheese on a lot of things as well, right? I'm not going to fight you on that. It's just the type of cheese Americans use. There's also the fact that certain cheeses that we like to use in Europe are actually banned in the US.
Yeah, like maggot cheese. Oh darn.
The maggot cheese is amazing, though.
I'm not eating maggots. I don't care how good that tastes. That's gross.
Hey, we don't eat insects, no matter what.
No matter how like healthy or safe it is, we're not going to eat bugs. They raise cows. We have cows and chickens. We can stick with the normal meat.
Or gorgonzola, like gorgonzola on pizza is just.
To be fair, I would definitely think twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times when somebody offered me like that kind of cheese. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'll pass.
You'll pass.
Yeah.
Squeezy cheese whiz.
Yeah, like I understand. Like,
although I would pass on cheese whiz too, because like Jesus Christ.
No, cheese whiz.
I do have some standards.
Cheese whiz, pepperoni, and a Ritz cracker, baby.
It's not just the maggot cheese that's banned in the US, though.
I know, but that's my.
I mean, there's an underground fucking thing about cheese. Like do they have like an underground like a black market for cheese? Apparently.
Also, it's not maggots; it's mites, isn't it? Like, isn't it like some kind of mite that lives in cheese?
I think there's multiple cheeses that get eaten by bugs, I think, but the maggot cheese is just the one I remember the most of.
You know,
yeah, for obvious reasons, right?
You know, recently there's been a push to eat insects in the United States. Some stupid idiot actually said that on TV, and we're like, just shut up and leave.
I mean,
don't get me wrong here. Don't get me wrong here. It is eco-friendly. It is probably more sustainable because insects are so much easier to grow.
Okay. We're the land of ranches like Yellowstone. Ranches the size of frickin' Rhode Island with cattle on it, okay? Cattle. They're self-sustaining. They fertilize the land. They graze the land.
Cattle take a lot of water, for example.
They also fart a lot.
With all of the droughts, I mean, it's obvious where that thought is coming from. Also, who's pinging me?
That was probably me.
Oh, my cloud is pinging me.
I kind of pinged everybody. Don't worry. It's all good.
We didn't, I like a salient. We didn't rise to the top of the food chain to eat bugs. Actually, many cultures in the world eat bugs and they love it and they're fine. Okay, great. If you like grasshoppers, go for it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, like, anybody here like Smarties?
Smarties, the candy?
Anybody here like red Smarties by any chance?
The candy?
No.
Yeah, you know, Smarties, chocolate covered thing, like chocolate covered in sort of like a
that means
sugar eggshell thing. Like
Smarties means something different in America.
Yeah.
They're chalky.
It's like a chalky candy.
Yeah, they're chocolate candy.
No, not chocolate.
Chalky.
Oh,
like
chalky.
Like yeah, they're like powder candy, sugar candy. Think of
what is going on with your fucking country?
Pixie sticks are a big thing too, which are sugar and
it's like literally like just powdered sugar that they've pressed into like a disc, like a pill, and then you eat them and you can chew on them or suck on them.
Okay. Oh, regardless, any sort of like, you know, candy sash thing that is a sort of generally a red color.
Okay.
Yeah, you do realize where that red color comes from, right? It literally comes from insects.
Yeah, I mean, there's things they use from insects to make colors. We get that, yeah. But you know, it's not like, you know, throwing some grasshoppers in oil in a frying pan or a blender, yeah.
So apparently it's pretty good, but I don't.
If you like crustaceans from the sea, then generally they are considered the insects of the sea.
Yeah, like if you like eating prawns, then why do you have issues?
Yes, I know it's the bug of the sea.
Insect,
right? Because crabs taste good, and they don't look like grasshoppers. You know, you just get a leg and you just eat
because
it,
they're the grasshoppers of the sea.
Yeah. Yes, I am a fan of crabs and scallops and clams and mussels.
You don't have a
king crab.
You don't have a seafood allergy then.
You know, king crab is amazing. Now, you're not going to get a complaint here from me on king crab, but for some reason, I prefer like my order of crabs that I really like goes snow crab, blue crab, and then king crab.
What about?
And I'm not a fan of lobster. Lobster's just okay to me.
Are they king crabs where they can take off just one of the what do you call it?
One of the claws? That's stone crab.
One of the claws?
That's stone crab.
Stone crab.
I love.
And by the way, I tried that for the first time. It's all right.
It's all right. It's nothing to write home about.
Nah, it's just all right. Blue crabs, though, you got to work for. If you blue crabs, really, you got to catch them yourself, okay? Because then you can just immediately clean them and cook them, and you don't have to worry about cleaning them or all that goop after they've been cooked and you're eating them. I don't like to do that. I like them cleaned first. I'm not a big, eating the tamale of the lobster or whatever, the mustard inside the crabs. That's not a thing for me. Just give me the crab meat, baby.
Yep.
Scallops,
I'll second that, to be fair.
Scallops, fantastic. Gotta eat them for like days, and shrimp. Scallop, shrimp, forever. The sea roly-poly looked interesting. Not sure what that is.
That would be the lobster, I believe.
The lobster.
Because its tail curls in. Or we get them crawdads.
The big difference from, like Maine lobsters to Florida lobsters, right? Florida lobsters don't have claws.
Yeah. Or what they do?
Wow.
They just don't
Warm
have
water
big
lobsters.
claws.
Yeah,
Warm
They
water
have little
lobsters.
arms. They have little arms in the
Yeah,
front
little
to pick
appendages.
food and stuff, but they don't
That's
have.
gonna
You're
fucking
right.
say. It's like, what the fuck?
But the claws are the main lobster claws are really nice for eating. The tail is the most important thing. So, I mean, yeah, there are some invertebrates in the ocean that are like the same as the roly-poly. That I forget what they are right now.
I've not had sea urchin yet.
Ugh.
I hear it's an interesting flavor.
That's
Apparently, it's very iodine-y.
I could understand why you wouldn't have had sea urchin. Like, it's not exactly like the normal thing to put on a menu.
More of a Mediterranean thing. And you eat them live.
It's been 20 minutes.
All right, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold it.
It doesn't mean we have to stop talking about food. I'm just saying it's been 20 minutes. I can interrupt now with Eve Talk.
Yeah, food factoid of the week before you do Eve Talk, okay?
Which
I saw this list of foods that add or subtract from your life. Okay, the one that stands out is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich adds 30 minutes to your life. So, I ate like 20 of them for breakfast. So I keep that up. I can live forever. So just remember, folks,
like that.
just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a glass of milk. It's perfect, and you'll live forever. Because I read it on the internet. Just
oh yes, of course. Sorry.
Maybe if you use actual good bread instead of the
fuck off with your good bread
that
bullshit.
The Americans use.
If your bread isn't the whitest thing in your pantry, I don't know what
if you're not making bread, then you are basically scum.
I tell you, we do have a bread machine. We do make bread here at the house.
I thought. As we're being all snobbish about bread, I might as well just go like all the way to fucking 11.
I'm ordering Subway right now just to piss Soth off.
Nice.
Subway. Do you see last time?
We were talking Subway,
about
the cake,
Eric.
The cake place, right?
Yeah, the cake place.
What cake place? What
Subway.
Subway, the cake place.
Yeah. Listen, your bread should be soft and white and delicious, okay? None of this hard, crunchy rye bread.
No. Rye bread. If your rye bread is hard, you're a fucking idiot.
No, I'm just saying no rye bread, no rye bread, no wheat bread.
Hard.
I don't need nuts and grain and shit everywhere. The bread is a vehicle to get food into my mouth and to create a starch base that I can't maybe do with a potato. Okay. If I can't do with bread, it will be a
potato bread
or rice.
It has to have flavor. Come on.
The flavor is whatever I add to it. And you know what? Sourdough and potato bread have flavor.
Hey, white bread is the vodka of breads. All right.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't really taste of anything. It just allows everything else to impart its flavors on it.
If you have rye bread, you can make kvass, and kvass is amazing, right?
No, there's not a single grainy, non-white bread that I will ever choose over a white bread. Sourdough
sourdough, excellent.
And potato bread, butter rolls, Hawaiian bread. All those breads are delicious.
You've never had an actual good rye bread, then?
No, I don't.
I love rye bread.
My bread should not be dark brown.
White bread, pumpernickel. I actually like whole wheat with chunks of shit in it.
You can enjoy your chunks
I'm just going to point out
I enjoy it all.
Sourdough is made with whole wheat.
What?
Yes.
Which one?
Sourdough is made with whole wheat.
Well, clearly you don't know that there is a sourdough white bread here.
Yes. Yeah.
There's sourdough wheat and then there's sourdough white. And the sourdough white
you can do all sorts of things.
Is amazing.
You can mix all different types of flours in all different.
Just fuck
I guess
you all.
because they
fuck
didn't because traditionally
cinnamon
they didn't
raisin
have
bread. All right, cinnamon raisin bread.
Traditionally, sourdough was the kind of almost like the traditional bread, right? Because it's only modern times that we have like dry yeast.
Yeah.
Before you'd use a starter to basically create the bread, which is kind of how sourdoughs work.
You can also ferment the wheat. That works as well. Because you always have some cultures in your wheat. You just need to activate them, right?
Yeah, and grow them.
So you either use a starter or you ferment it.
Yeah.
Which these days you no longer do because you also may have some other cultures in your wheat that you don't want in there, right?
Yeah.
Like mouse poop.
Question, has anything been happening in Eve?
You're the one who said you were on a 4-hour fleet.
You're the one.
Yeah, no, I was. We were doing iHub stuff, and we won everything. But after 4 hours of me crying to Sintich, I mean, I wasn't. It was just more of a joke. But yeah, I'm just trying to think if there was anything big because we never got to talk about the faction warfare stream, which I put it on Theta Thursday that it was the LaCroix of dev blogs. It barely whispered and hinted at something that was coming at some point, maybe.
I mean, they did announce the AT, if you want something big.
The AT, yeah, the AT's coming up. And, you know, I do enjoy watching usually 1 or 2 matches, like, especially, like, if you know it's, like, one of the cool close ones or whatever. Watching them live is not something that I ever, like, rush to go find. Because I usually never know what it is either until, like, I've already missed half of it. And it's like, well, no, I don't care. Just let me know if there's a good match.
I'm going to say something that might anger Soth, and maybe anger a few people out there that maybe sort of, you know, pearl clutches when it comes to, you know, anger games and just general sort of PvP tournaments. But I don't know. When I watch the tournament, when I watch games and stuff like that, like you know, sort of PvP tournaments and that kind of thing in Eve, it always feels like the games end up like a house of cards. You know, as soon as like one side starts losing ships, you can almost guarantee that side is likely going to lose.
That's like, I would say 70-80% of all matches. Yes. It is like once you lose a key ship, it is very hard to take it back, right? But there are those matches where you can actually turn it around. And those happen.
I think the fun ones
those are the really exciting matches because you, like, up until the last minute you don't know who's gonna win, right? And I think that's way better than the matches where, you know, after like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, the first ship dies and you know, hey, that just won them the match, right? And it is
and
really
then it's 10
hard,
minutes of watching like some drones chase a deacon around.
No. It's usually like,
I'm not wrong.
Once it falls apart fast, right? Of course, you also have those matches where they are just staring at each other from opposite sides of the arena, and no one wants to commit because they both
trading
know
drones.
Yeah, like they both know whoever commits first is going to lose, right? But it is really hard to design your rules in a way that promotes fights that can go both ways halfway through the match.
So I will say the most exciting one was that I've seen was where I think it was Piao or somebody, a famous team. 2 of them boundary violations at near the end of the match, which swung it to where, like, so one side was losing and the winning side, 2 of them boundary violated and blew up. So now it's like 2 ships versus 1 ship, and I think the one guy was in a rattlesnake, and all he had to do was kill 1 ship and not die, and he was able to do it and under like the time limit and win by like 2 points or something. That shit was exciting to watch because, like, you're like, oh, he's, you know, the match is over, whatever. Then all of a sudden, bing, bing, you're like, oh my god, you just threw.
I think a big issue with this isn't necessarily that nothing is happening, right? That there are things happening that you as a viewer just can't see, just because the tournament overview that's being used is pretty much the standard overview that's being used in EVE as it is, right? It doesn't give you much of a sense of what's happening on the battlefield. If you watch other esports games, if you watch any Counter-Strike, any Rainbow Six Siege, Apex, whatever, the casters have a lot more tools to look at what's happening, and they can also show more to the viewers of what's happening, right?
The visualizations are a lot better, and that's kind of one of the things that I wish. Yeah, one of the things that I wish like we had as a sort of in terms of tools for showcasing tournaments. I know that, like, even the kind of like the official UI and stuff like that we've used in hanging games before is really good. It's, it's just kind of it's one of those sort of things where, like, it's really good, but we wish we had more. Like, I think it's one of those perpetual things, right? So that we always wish we had more.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the Fancy UI, as it's called, it's nearly as old as the AT itself, right? The only work that has been put into it in recent years have been to just actually keep it working. Like, nothing has been put in to improve it or to add functionality to it. It's just being kept alive, right? The thing is, though, with how the game is doing, I feel like I can't, with a good conscience, go there and demand that they put more work into tournaments, right? There are so many areas in the game that need more work, desperately.
Did you see the on Reddit, this guy's giant, like, mining manifesto? Just a side note with things that need work on the game.
No.
It was like, I think it was about 4 pages worth of, like, complaining about mechanics changes, but he was really wrong about all of the mechanics changes. So it was like watching an idiot argue, like, screaming at the man screams at windmill or something, like, okay, I'm glad you're upset, but that's not what you need to be upset at. So, and I'm just like sitting there reading it. I only got about maybe 3/4 of the way through, which I think I was longer than most people that did read it. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, of course, like, yes, there should, if you have an indie core on an org or something, yes, it should sit in place, be stuck in place, just like the Rorqual. If you're going to make the Rorqual do it, you're going to give all these bonuses for having a core. Yes, the other one should be sitting in place. Like, these ships are supposed to be nimble and not be caught by anybody. I'm like, that's why it's a choice. You either use it or you don't. Like, you've missed the memo. You missed the mark. So that was a fun one to read. But back to the tournament. You guys have another tournament coming up, right, Soth?
What? No, that's already done.
The one where they can't use the same ships?
Yeah,
that's
we already did that.
We did.
Okay.
I
pay attention.
I should actually upload that VOD to YouTube. Thanks for reminding me. So yeah, if you missed that, you can still watch the recording on the EVNT channel on Twitch, or you just wait for later today, and I will upload it to the Anger Games YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Brisk is in chat. Brisk, where's her shower pick?
Hey, Brisk.
We need a shower pick.
I think someone's really into your shower picks, by the way, Brisk.
No, it's
I
for
have no
Dirk.
idea why. I have
it's
no idea why.
Dirk.
For Dirk?
Yes, you were so ecstatic about getting a shower pick for Dirk.
Well, he would be demanding one if he was here, so I'm just trying to fill the void that is the fancy cat.
True. That is very true. I don't know where he is at the moment. He's probably stuck up a tree or somewhere.
Has it cooled down yet for you guys?
No, it's still hot as fuck.
It actually got hotter here.
Oh, Frank's in the shower? Okay. Doesn't surprise me. Frank is a bit of a drama queen. Must be first.
Yeah. It's the case.
So, other than that, I mean, Eric, we weren't here last week because Eric's had some family stuff. And we've had a little bit of fighting. We had one big fight, which was a little depressing to be on. Because, for me, only because as Logi, watching people die is always tough. Other than that, we've had... I don't think we've had a real fight with Keyword or anything.
No, I'm looking forward to the first, like, proper... super cap throwdown. That's going to be interesting. I'm sure Ash was looking forward to it as well.
I believe they moved their supers yesterday.
If you guys don't know, Horde moved supers down to the deployment, or to the sort of like the conflict area, right?
Go ahead, Sal.
What I noticed is, have you guys seen the login numbers?
No. Are they up or still down?
They are still down.
Oh, God's sake. Thought that'd be up, considering their deployment.
Yeah, but that's just the summer doldrums. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's not. If you compare it to recent years, at this point in the summer, the numbers were already going back up.
I mean, it's hot as balls. It's still the summer slump, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I will say, personally, I've been seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while popping back in to check out, like, the new Asher era. Like, I've had DeClorian message me, McDermott's back. Who else was it?
DeClorian's in staff.
Katana.
Yeah, DeClorian teased us with actually coming on camera and then chickened out.
Yeah. Shocker.
Calling you out there, DeClorian.
Oh!
Shocker. He likes to just, like, tease you and then run away for 6 months.
Somebody wants to know the status of war bonds.
What's the status of war bonds? The bonds are there. And they are from the war.
I guess they're still being paid out every so often.
I get paid, so I bought more of them from another person just so that way, because I was like, I've got 50 billion sitting here, and I don't do market stuff, so I might as well make some money off of it. So I bought somebody else's war bonds, and it's making me cash for free.
Yeah, so. Well, that was the promise at the end of the day, right? Buy these bonds, they will pay you back over time.
I'm hoping that they'll pay them off soon, but...
Unless you're in test.
I love Arby's.
Yeah, unless you're test.
I love Arby's.
Good point, Sal.
I love Arby's sauce. I love horsey sauce. It's all good. I don't like their curly fries though.
Oh, Eric.
Arby's. In college, it was like, I remember the 20 for 20 deal they would do, man. We'd like go buy like 1 million of them and put them in the freezer.
Eric, you really got to check out that barbecue sauce I linked you.
We'll be trying it.
Yeah, I really want to know what you think of it.
I gather you made it and you can confirm it's good.
Oh yeah, like I'm loving it.
Okay. I feel like I should do something after the show today.
Ketchup, brown sugar, molasses, white vinegar, smoked paprika, chili powder,
cayenne powder. To your cats, maybe?
No, that'd be good. Plenty of attention.
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe I feel like I need to go outside and enjoy the weather.
We're gonna have to try that.
Touch some grass.
I really feel like I need to. I haven't left my house much. When you work at home, you just don't think about leaving very often.
You know what? That is like so freaking true.
Yeah, because I'm here, and then like once I get off work, I'm like, oh well, I'm already here, so then I hop on to play games or whatever, and then midnight rolls around, and you're like, oh shit, I haven't moved from this room other than to get food or drinks or whatever for hours. So
yeah, I've been renovating a house for fucking what feels like forever, but like it's coming to a head, which is good.
Renovating?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a little fridge in your room now?
Not yet, no. Because I haven't moved into that house because we're still renovating.
Oh, you're not one of those people that are going to live in the mess?
I mean, it won't be 100% finished when we move in, but like it will be to some degree. Like it'll be mostly done.
I don't know why Rift TZ has got this obsession with war bonds. It was 21 trillion, and they'll get paid when they'll get paid. There's your answer. Anyways,
I mean, as Soft said, sucks to be a test member who bought into their war bonds.
Well, hold it. They were warned. Okay, they were 100% warned not to invest in those war bonds because they'd never get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if I never got paid back the money, I would be a little sad. But once again, I used money that I literally just had like nothing else going on with it. Because I would like to buy like a Leviathan or something just so I have it. But, I don't need it right now. So. I don't know what Rifty's problem is, whatever. So, other than that,
I think my preference for Titans is an Erebus and an Avatar, but I think that's very typical.
see, that's pretty funny. So I don't know if you guys have been on fleets, but how are you feeling about Asher being in charge now? Like, we graded him on Thursday. We had some categories.
I mean, I look forward to the Super Cap fights. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I don't want to
I'm
jinx
sure
him,
he
but
has some interesting things to do with
I was
those.
going to say, I don't want to jinx him, but he's never lost a Titan v Titan, like, fleet fight.
Knock on wood, everybody. She just did it.
I know. I said it last time.
But then again, you have to think that, like, before BTAC R, like, we had a capital brawl that went south, like something serious. So,
Yeah, but I don't think he was the Super Cap FC then, right?
Oh no, that wasn't Asher at the time.
No, so that's why I'm saying like he hasn't. Knock on wood. But I feel like if we just say it now, we'll get it out of the way.
What I'm saying is, even if you do have a loss, that doesn't mean that, like, that doesn't mean that the next one is going to be a loss as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you lose a bunch of caps, like if you lose like 200 reds, then the next capital fight, doesn't it's not a guarantee that you're going to be losing, or like you're likely going to lose. You could very, very much have the next BTR.
The thing is, I don't feel like dreads are very used or worth it in a Titan v Titan fight. Like, yeah, I get it. You could drop a bunch.
A Titan v Titan, no.
You could drop a bunch to try and kill some, but like as they did during M2,
dread bombs in a Titan fight, like the best usage for dread bombs in a Titan fight is literally to take out like disconnected Titans out of
not even disconnected Titans. Like, sure, that's also used, but also use them in secondary fights that are going off in other systems, right? Like
preventing
if you see
Titans coming in.
Yeah, if you see someone like being bumped off of a fortress, for example, or they aren't tethered for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you drop dreads on it because they aren't paying attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are paying attention on the actual like heavy tie-dye fight.
Yeah. But in this day and age where like you actually have an option to not e-warp, and you also have good super cap etiquette where you actually are bubbling your fleet, so you don't have E-warps going out away from the fight. Like, you shouldn't have that. Like, there shouldn't be that situation where, you have disconnected Titans a million kilometers from the fight getting dread bombed. But
Which is a bit sad,
but then again, actual combat is a messy business. Like, you're never entirely certain what's going to happen.
Well, because I'm thinking about it here. I know during M2, because it happened right next to me, a dread fleet warped in to the middle of the Titans to try and take somebody down or soak up some DDs or something. And all that happened was they got lanced.
Yeah, they just gave a fucking lance, and just absolutely fucking murdered, because that was a fucking dumb tactical decision.
No, Rifty, I'm not the financial reporter for the Imperium. I just know what I know because it's been what's been told to us publicly. So, anyways, but yeah, so I watched. It was 60 dreads or something like that just got lanced off the field by a couple Titans, and it didn't affect anything about the fight because obviously those Titans were fit for a lance just in case. Because there's no way that in that Titan you couldn't refit quickly to do anything, and those lances were going right before they landed.
Yeah, exactly.
They were ready, which was pretty hot.
They were ready with lances, and that's the thing. When you're outfitting the fleet to deal with something, if you're 100% dealing just targeted doomsdays, then you lack the tools to deal with a dread bomb coming in. And using targeted doomsdays on one or two on every single dread there is a colossal waste. It's much better to use a fifth or a sixth of the amount of ships to just lance them and kill them all.
Yeah, but if you have 200 Titans and you have 50 dreads landing, and you put all guns on them, Doomsday is still on Titans. Those dreads are going to be gone rather quickly as well.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah,
I mean, not instantly, right? You will still lose a few Titans to 2-3 Titans, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can. We actually have a number for that. So remember in the M2 breakout how they got out? They used our bubbles against us. Actually, it kind of worked out. It was funny, but the Titans start logging in. So we're pinging, log in, guys. We got to stop them. Blah blah blah. So we jump. I'm one of the Titans that jump in first. And, and I kind of realized looking at the fleet, I'm like, there's only 150 of us because it was 2 a.m. And I was like, and I know that we're going to get more as we go, but, so we start, shooting Titans and DD volleys and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I see I'm like, wow, those ships are really close. There are 411 dreadnoughts right next to me, 50 kilometers from me. And I'm like, oh. And so then that's when we turn and start, instead of shooting the Titans, we turn and start shooting the dreadnoughts because they started killing our Titans. But out of 411 dreadnoughts, they only killed, I think, 5 Titans.
Yeah.
Before they were obliterated by all of our Titans. And we did not have a full Titan fleet. So it is, even though dreads are meant to kill Titans, they're really not meant to handle a Titan fleet.
Well, not one-on-one.
Yeah, exactly, because they're being outclassed. But the idea of a dread bomb is not to go against the same number or sort of half the number.
Yeah, but they had
Titans,
3 times the amount of Titans that were there, maybe, or at least double minimum. Almost 3 times as many dreadnoughts to Titans, and the Titans still obliterated them in 15 minutes.
Yeah, but usually
that's how it should be.
When you're talking dread bomb, you're usually talking about a ratio of 10-1, right?
Yeah,
right. But it was just insane to see how some of those numbers really ended up playing out. I don't know if they knew the math wise that was how it was going to work out. I would have expected it to take longer to go through that many dreads, but it really was when you like just focused your lasers on it, you could just gun them down so fast.
And I just want to point out there before anyone gets mad about this, I am not a Supercap FC, okay? So I have no idea what the actual numbers are. I just know the broad strokes, so to say.
Yeah, a good block level Supercap FC would know the numbers, but it is something that you need to learn.
Well, I mean,
like everything.
in this, it's always interesting that first Titan v Titan battle after a patch or something. So like we learned in the first M2 how many DDs it was going to take to get through a Titan of any class. And you could tell because like we would, and I'm not going to go over the numbers, but you could tell because they would say, hey, X number of people X up to shoot this ship. And so we would do that and then shoot them. And then the number would start changing, like how many they would require. And then we finally kind of found the sweet spot for each type of ship. And I was there during X-47 versus M2, and like it, it's always that part of the Super Cat fights are fun for me. Is kind of seeing what's the math it's going to take to start chewing through ships at the most efficient way possible. I think would make many Germans proud, because they try to find the best efficiency for it. But I'm still kind of amazed that it takes so many dreadnoughts to try and put a dent in a Titan fleet, and they still get obliterated so fast. I understand because of the cost difference. They're literally just a giant tornado, basically, all damage, no tank, comparatively. But
they have a little bit of tank, but to facilitate them potentially lasting at least long enough in order to turn off their siege and potentially jump out like this.
Well, it's a bit of protection against subcaps, right? Not so much against other caps and supers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say dreads were not meant to tank capitals.
And if you're fighting, if you're dropping dreads on an area where there's going to be lots of subcaps, then ideally you want to drop two groups of dreads at a nice distance apart, so that one can basically cover the other.
Well, it depends what kinds of subs you have, right? If you're dealing with hacks,
if you're dealing with Cerberuses, if you're dealing with Cerberuses, you're going to have a hard time finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, because it basically doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So all you do is just, throw everything at it and make sure it dies.
Yeah.
Kapooey, kapooey. Ugh.
Is that like pew, pew, pew?
That's for lasers.
What's kapooey?
Kapooey is either artillery or a missile.
No,
missiles are usually...
No. Artillery is kabam.
Kablam?
Yeah. So what's kapow?
Yeah, kabam.
Is that just a punch?
No, kapow is more... I want to say rails, but rails also have some electronic sound to it, obviously.
So would you say kapow's like a 720 RT and kablooey's like a 1400?
Oh yeah. We can go with that.
And then missiles are.
No, missiles are more whoosh.
Yeah, whoosh.
But they explode, so at the end, you. I know I make the best sound effects, by the way, guys. All the time. Then the lasers are pew 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 pew. McLeod's dying over there.
When I see lasers going off,
what have we come to? What have we come to?
When I see lasers going off, I just have disco playing in my head.
Disco.
Yeah, obviously.
Any particular disco song?
No.
Just disco.
Yep, just disco.
I inhaled my drink because one of you made a
done.
noise while I was drinking, and I laughed. Kapow is not a smart bomb. What would a smart bomb be?
I think we all know that autocannons is dagger, 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 dagger.
Dagger, 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 dagger.
More dagger.
Or dagger, 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 dagger.
You know what I gotta say? I know we're enjoying our sounds right now, but one thing that's been a little disheartening is the lack of things, like changes to be like, what the fuck about? Like I know that CCP kind of takes a break in the summer sometimes, or like, they'll have longer holidays or whatever in the summer. But other than the faction warfare stuff and the super disappointing fan fest, what else has been put out? What do you think?
Well, wait for FanFest.
FanFest 2028?
I mean,
I'm not saying which one.
Just wait for FanFest.
Yep.
Just wait for FanFest, guys. It's going to be worth it. Yeah. Because someone was saying there needs to be a reason to undock, and I'm like, well, and I'm like, no, actually, we're stuck with what we have. Like, they have not put out any, potential changes to the stupid BRM, DBS.
I mean, if I was a CCP, I'd probably say that sounds like entitlement.
I know, right? I mean,
but thankfully I'm not, and so I don't have to be, horrible to my customer base.
I gotta say, some of the mining changes I didn't like at the way that they proposed them originally, but the way that they've settled, I can deal with what we have right now for the actual ships and what they can do. Like, that is in a place that is acceptable or tolerable. The fact that the ores themselves are still so fucked that CCP have completely crashed the market on multiple ores because of their ineptitude of how fucking ecosystems work is insane. Like,
but the thing is, Dawn, we have to wait until it's all completed. Clearly, this is still.
It's been 3 years.
This is still sort of like in the process of getting to the completed grand plan, right? Because the completed grand plan was meant to be amazing and it's meant to have solved everything.
Yeah,
Risk,
just wait.
You may be talking about it. I know you're trying to work on it, but that doesn't mean anything. Because, like, the problem, like, you would get more people out mining if the values hadn't been so fucked. It is impossible to get any sort of consistency out of Crocite, Nice, or Ochre because of the low-sec stuff. Like, stuff spawns somewhere out there, but it's never like, oh, there's always a belt in this system. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does kind of make it really a hassle to go get. And you can't own low-sec space unless you're a really big group that can bully around everybody else, like Snuffed Out or whatever the fucking other one. There's another one out there, I think, right? I don't deal with. And, and I'm really mad that we used to mine Ochre like crazy and I sold it all at the really fucking cheap prices. But, nullsec is just so fucked for ore because Arcanor and Bistot, which was supposed to be rare, and expensive stuff, the thing you try to get, especially when it would randomly spawn in high sec for little pockets here and there, it'd be a nice little treat. And they put it in every system and it's just mined out to fuck. Like, it's worth less than Feldspar.
Oh, man.
That's fucking tragic.
Shadow's asking if we have an opinion on Plex prices.
Oh, about them going they skyrocketed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's be honest.
That's a twofold thing.
With the real life price for Plex going up, it was obvious that the in-game price would go up as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you can also see is I've been told that the volume on Plex trading is actually going down.
Interesting.
Well, as prices go up,
so
demand goes down.
Yeah, but supply is apparently going down as well. So there's less people buying Plex and putting it on the market.
Well, that's called deflation.
Yay!
No, it's not really. No, I mean when you have supply dropping, right? Supply's dropping, prices are going up, right?
But the actual
but
volatility is not
yes,
staying the same.
Yes, supply is dropping, prices are going up, but the prices aren't just going up because of the supply dropping, right? Because there are outside factors, meaning the actual price for Plex that you pay.
Yeah, so people want so if you're buying Plex, like you want more is out of it.
Right. You pay more, you want more ISK out of it.
Because you've paid more. You paid more than previously.
What will be interesting to know,
feel like it's worth more,
right? Is the outstanding Plex that is on characters that no longer play, right?
And the thing is, what's weird? Usually when the AT gets announced, for which you need a bunch of Plex, right? You need to hand over Plex to sign up for it. That usually causes the market to react. Like usually the volume of Plex that gets bought goes up, right? Naturally, because you have like 50 alliances that all of a sudden need a ton of Plex to do their bits for the alliance tournament, right?
Yeah.
But we don't really see that this year, which is weird.
That is strange.
So I've seen some. I will say, even though I know the login numbers aren't necessarily going up, as I said, I have personally been seeing more people that used to play coming back, but that I don't know if that's offsetting some of the people that have stopped playing or aren't logging in as often, like every day or whatever. Because I know I log in every day at some point, but I'm not on for very long, unless it's for fleets, because the actual PvE in the game's just not engaging enough or worth it enough for me to devote time to it. Because I can't mine like I want to. And because we're deployed now, we just kind of have to be ready for a fleet whenever. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat where it's like, gosh, it's going to take 20 minutes to get set up to do anything in this game. And then it might get ruined because someone showed up to decide to cloaky camp or try to kill you or whatever. It's just at some point you're just like, I don't fucking care. I'm just going to go play something else that's more entertaining.
It's not just goons, right? While we have a decent quote unquote population so you can actually see an effect of us going to war or of us like staying home crabbing. It is not the entirety of ETH, right? What I think you are starting to see is that also people in high sec are starting to react as well.
How do you mean by that?
Well,
what are we looking for about that?
I mean, Plex price is going up, right? They need to work a lot more to pay for their subscription. And some people will take a very hard look at that and think, well, maybe I don't want to put in 15, 20 hours more into the game every week, every month, whatever. just so I can pay for my sub, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna take a very hard look if they want to pay with actual money for ETH.
Mm-hmm.
Sad
You raise the bar. You raise the bar. You know, in terms of what's required in order to get a Plex or to get enough Plex to fund your account for a month.
Yeah, and it's like
And if
CCP
it's
keeps nerfing income streams, so it further raises the bar, right?
yeah, it's part of their kind of like harden the fuck up sort of mantra now. That EVE is meant to be hard, so hard that players will look elsewhere for their enjoyment.
Yeah, but when you start,
I find it ironic.
right? But when you look at and the nice thing about EVE Offline, right? It's a newborn player graphs, right? Those aren't going higher. Those have been in steady decline over the last year, right?
I mean, it's such a misnomer because it's not a new player graph; it's just a new account graph.
It's
just a new character graph. Like
yeah,
it's not
new character graph, right?
Like it is a mixture of new players, and
veterans,
like new alt accounts for veterans.
Yeah,
like
but when you look at the recent, that is dropping off the face of the earth, man.
I'm sure it's down to the NPE, right? I'm sure it's down to the NPE. They probably need to redo the NPE again.
I think they should, and I think they should use 99% of their developers to do that.
Yeah, they weren't using enough developers on the.
They need that one other developer to turn on and turn off the servers if they need to. No, I mean just looking at it over last year, and particularly over probably like the last couple months. I mean, it's not a good thing. They can't be happy with that.
Well, I mean, I don't know what they consider to be good or not. They never really offered offered to us any idea as to what are the victory conditions for EVE Online. I mean, not like victory conditions for players for EVE Online, but like for as a company.
Well, we just described a local baseball team to me. Everybody knows where I live, so it's the Pirates, right? They lose, they suck, and they've done it for years. I think they have the Guinness Book World Record for continuous losing seasons for a professional team. Bob Nutting is the owner, and
number one.
Somebody, I forget what it said on the shirts, right? But it was something like, "We get Nutting." He outlawed them in the ballpark, right? Because it was against it. Because he's such a shitty owner, it's terrible. His object is to spend the least amount he can on payroll because the shared TV revenue makes them more money than actually paying for a winning team. I mean, that's really just their goal, just to make money, right? So, how much money can you make with the least amount of effort is really seems where, CCP and EVE Online are, right?
It's the 80-20 rule, right?
Yep.
You gotta ask yourself though, they do still have a lot of staff. So what are those people doing?
Maybe somebody needs a tax loss. I don't know.
They have to make some additional game,
right? I mean, eventually you make so much money that you want to buy something that costs you, that you have use of, but you pay more than it generates in revenue, so that you offset the revenue that you're making somewhere else, right? I mean, that's a real thing in taxes in the U.S., right? Who knows? EVE Online as a VR game would suck. I mean, I don't know. Is it a combination of changing tastes in the consumer, or is it just?
Well, let's just. I mean, I don't feel like my tastes or my desire or my requirement for the game has changed that much in the last 5 years. But I feel like the game has changed quite a lot in terms of how it appreciates my time a lot in the last 5-10 years.
Not really the game, but CCP.
Well, yeah. Well, like, by proxy.
Starscream's funny.
Yeah, soon exclusive.
I mean, you really don't know where it's going, right? I mean,
I wouldn't put it past Starscream, in all honesty.
But yeah, I just don't know where Eve's going.
Well, I'm going to be here for the ride, but
yeah, we're here for the ride. But yeah, it's just I guess it's not necessarily a conversation to bash the game or CCP. It's just more of a open wondering, right? Where are we going? What is, because CCP doesn't really tell us what they're thinking, right, anymore. I mean, it seems like they're much quieter.
Well,
because the stupid thing about this is that they didn't converse with us about what would be good for the game.
Mm-hmm.
They just decided that they were going to state what's good for the game. And when we all went, what the fuck, CCP? CCP was like, just wait, you'll see, it'll be all good in the end. And then, we got to the end and we were like, what the fuck, CCP? And CCP were like, wait, why do you not like this? And then proceeded to bury their heads in the sand. And now they don't really talk to us because they're concerned that if they do talk to us, that we'll say, what the fuck, CCP? But the thing that they seem to not get is that it should be a fucking conversation. It shouldn't just be them stating what's happening and then us going, and then us reacting, or us going, oh, okay, you are demigods after all, so we'll believe you.
Yeah.
You respect your, you respect your customers, like, first and foremost.
I mean, I think there's been
respect and honor.
I mean, I work to some degree on a sales side, right? And I see how that is being pushed and how we view customers, right? Which our view, I'm not going to elaborate, is, meet customers where they are in their technology and help them grow, right? And help them use the tools available, right? Be collaborative, work with them, have conversations with them, not necessarily to sell them things, but to help them use what they already have. And then in so doing, trust the software more and want to be, more engaged with it, right? That's a philosophy that I see. But when I go out into the consumer marketplace, right? I mean, I can tell you, we're trying to buy a hot tub, and it's just like, they're just, well, this is what we have, right? And by the way, where I live, if you want to put a pool above ground or below ground, every single company is 1.5 to 2 years out in being able to do that. So it's kind of crazy. We don't live in a small area. But I mean, just looking at the hot tub, I mean, the salespeople, they're like, this is what it is. They have no idea what their competition is like. They only know what they are. And by the way, they don't even know basic chemistry terms. I mean, you're dealing with water chemistry, right? I'm going to come to you and say, hey, my pool or spa is doing X and I need your help to fix it, right? I talked to a guy the other day and he says, hey, well, we use a combination of, silver ions and ozone. So we're pumping a lot of oxygen into your water to help oxidize everything. I'm like, no, you're pumping ozone into the water. You're not pumping oxygen. And he just looked at me. What do you mean?
To be fair,
there's a difference?
To be fair, ozone does have oxygen in it.
Yeah, ozone is O3. Oxygen is O2. They are two distinct chemicals.
What's a little, deadly ozone,
Monoxide, oxygen, and ozone are 3 different things with 3 different capabilities.
Yeah,
their properties are very different.
Yeah, but they all
despite their chemical makeup.
Molecule's still in there. I get it.
And the atom is there. The molecule is different.
Yeah.
Right? The bonds and one is a high oxidizing agent. One you can breathe, and the other two will kill you.
Yeah, let's put if we put you into a room that's into 100% full of CO2, should we expect you to be able to breathe because it does contain oxygen?
Yeah, there's O2 in there. I should be just fine, guys. That's
there
how
won't
it works.
be any O2 in an ozone or monoxide filled area.
There's CO2. There's O2 in CO2. Really?
No, there isn't. You can't breathe it. Sorry. I mean, but this guy at the pool company probably thinks that. I mean, but yeah, I'm just sitting there going, I looked at him and I'm like, because I'm trying to figure out how the sanitization works, right? Because some are chlorine based, some want to use UV lights, but they don't really know how anything works, and they just say ours is the best. Why are ceramic filters better than non-ceramic paper micro filters? What's the difference? I don't know what the micro filter is built out of. I know the filter outside of it is paper. I haven't done enough research, but I'm just asking questions, right? Because I want to know, because I want to pick, right? Because these are not inexpensive things. Okay, no. These are not inexpensive things, and I'm going to sit here going, and I want to keep it for 10 or 12 years. But yeah, so yeah, but I see that everywhere in the consumer marketplace. I just use that as an example, right? And it's almost like the people don't know, and they give you 50 different answers for the same thing, depending on who you talk to. I've talked to 3 different people at this one place. Every one of them gives me a different answer on something. And you just ask why. And I'm saying, okay, so as a consumer, how am I really supposed to make a decision? Because I was just on the web page for this particular hot tub, and they said it worked like this. And I'm coming in here and you say, no, it doesn't work that way, right? And it's just very confusing, but I see it everywhere in the consumer area. They just really don't care. Either they've got too much work to do, not enough people to do it, right? They just don't care. And I get CCP has a bunch of developers, but how much do they really care? You can say you care. Yeah. You can think you're making the right. But what is your culture in your company that makes you do X, right? That's the real question. And what is I really don't know what CCP's culture is within their company anymore. It seems like
I'd be surprised if developers actually get any kind of bonus if their features that they've developed has been received by the community well. Or
well, yeah, your bonuses should be. I get bonuses too. It's how well your company does, right, and how well your division does, and how well you help the company. Right, you don't need to necessarily do things on an individual basis. You can pool them as well in different things. I don't know what their compensation structure is. It really doesn't bother me if they have. I don't know how many employees CCP even has anymore. Does anybody know?
I've heard it's sort of around the 200, maybe 250 mark, like spread around Reykjavik and London.
Wasn't it 180 in Iceland?
Oh, okay.
I think it was. I'm not sure.
They have 80 employees in Iceland?
180.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, I employ 100 people, right? If they're only saying, "Hey, we have 200-300 people," I'm sitting there going, "Wow, that's not really a lot."
Yeah. So I did want to be a little bit fair with CCP. Like they are, like with the new sort of faction warfare system that they're kind of putting together. They are showcasing kind of what they're doing, what they're thinking. Sort of in stages. which allows us to sort of give feedback and all that kind of jazz. So like, at least in that kind of, for faction warfare, like they're at least trying to communicate, in a more open kind of manner.
But how many
So there is
developers
that
do you
for
need
sure.
to work on faction warfare? I mean, legitimately.
I mean, I have no idea. Literally no idea.
That depends how fast you want it to be done.
Not
right?
necessarily.
Yeah.
Throwing more bodies at a tech problem and coding doesn't necessarily make it go faster. I've been in that world
but
long enough.
we are not talking about just throwing programmers at the problem. You also need actual game developers, right? You need people to actually design how these systems work, right? Because these are supposed to be ground level systems that you can apply to other areas of the game, right? That's the idea. So
everything can be like faction warfare.
It's not supposed to be everything like faction warfare, but they want it to be robust enough that you can change things here and there, and it still works.
We'll see. But I'm saying you got 200 employees, let's say, right? 180. I mean, what the hell are all these people doing, right? I look at faction warfare and I say if you got a team of 10 with various talents, you're probably right around that number, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. Not much, right? But you got 200 employees. What else? What is everybody else working on? Right? You don't have 20 people working on faction warfare, because if you do, my God, what the hell who knows how to manage people? I mean, right?
Well, Erik, we
90%,
keep making jokes.
90%. Forget. 90% of their developers are working on the new player experience.
We keep making jokes about it, but we're making jokes about it because CCP told us themselves that it's the case. 80% are working on the new player experience.
Yeah.
Right. So you only have 20% of your actual devs left. And then you also have marketing, finance, you have legal, you have the community team. There are so many people involved that the 20% left are probably like 10 developers.
So, well, yeah, no, I agree with you. But even a team of that many people working on the new player experience is too big. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Come on, I mean, let's just say you have a group of, a team of 10 working on any given thing at any given time, and then you probably have an oversight team. I mean, it would be interesting just to see what their org chart looks like, right? To see what they're really doing, because it just seems like they have a lot of employees and,
not a lot of output.
Yeah, not a lot of output, right? I mean, that's just what it appears to us. I mean, right or wrong. I mean, and certainly we don't know everything, right?
Yeah, we have no idea how difficult it is to code the game at the moment. Like,
if you compare to other companies of similar size, like let's take Cloud Imperium Games.
I mean, the size isn't exactly that, like,
yeah, Cloud
comparable,
Imperium
but yeah.
Games, as far as I know, is actually smaller than CCP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in case of the money they have access to, it is smaller, right? Not in terms of employees, because CHG have what, like 500 employees, something like that. Mac can probably say more because he's more involved in Star Citizen
in terms
than I
of
am.
just general Star Citizen sort of development.
Yeah, well, not only development, like the entire company, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is with CIG is like their whole development process is just entirely and totally transparent. Like, it's ridiculous.
we used to have the same with CCP. Maybe not entirely transparent, only where it made sense, but only recently have they started like dropping surprise updates so that we couldn't like game their systems in advance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just would be interesting to know. I mean, it just seems like, for a company that we assume is of a particular size, that they're not doing a tremendous amount of output of even fixes or new things or new ways of doing things, right? Unless they're sitting in there. I mean, is it paralysis by analysis, right? Potentially, right? They're in there. They perhaps they don't even know what's really, truly, truly wrong, and there could be infighting. There could be anything. Not saying that CCP is in disarray. That's not my intent, because we don't know. But it just seems a lot of employees, not a lot of progress. What are we missing as people from the outside looking in on what that is? I don't know what we're missing, but it just seems to me maybe they don't have the number of employees, or are they doing one of those things like they did before, right? They've taken employees and they put them on non-Eve projects, right, to keep them busy.
Yeah, it could very well be that sort of thing.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I've not really enjoyed. I hate to say this, but since FozzieSov, I've not enjoyed Sov Warfare anywhere near what I enjoyed it previously. And I know everybody hated that, but they never complete a thought.
It was going in the right direction at the end with FozzieSov. Definitely after they put in a bunch of changes, the exact changes that we asked for from the beginning, it started coming together, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it might have needed a little bit more, and most of all, it needs a bit of incentive for you to actually hold Sov, right? Especially the TCU right now is a pretty meaningless thing, right?
It's amazing. We've had FozzieSov for how many years, and they've literally made like 2 changes or something to it since they put it out. They were like,
there's probably been some more changes to it, but like it's just been very small and incremental.
Yeah, there
not changes,
been a
but
few
fixes.
more changes. Like, do you count something like, hey, you can no longer fit a soft laser to an interceptor? Do you call that a change, right? Because
I consider that more to be a fix.
Yeah, like it was very important for FozzieSov, but is that an actual change to the system? Right, and that there have been a bunch of those in like the I would say 2 years after FozzieSov came out. Like the first year they didn't touch it at all, and then they threw a bunch of changes at it, which were good changes. I'm not going to complain, right? But they could have done that right away, because we gave them the feedback and we gave them constructive feedback, right? We didn't say, hey, get rid of FozzieSov. We actually gave them points of contention, and we also gave them ideas on how to fix them, right? And I mean that's exactly what they did, but they did it way too late, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I remember saying that EVE Online needed an ecologist, and CCP got that wrong because they fucking hired a ecosystems engineer that basically, and though that sounds like it may be pedantic, but the two jobs are very fucking different. One just basically, changes the system to do something that is required or that's requested. The other one, actually learns about how the system is put together before even attempting any of that shit. But we ended up getting fucking, CCP Retati. Fucking woohoo.
I take it you're not a fan.
Oh, big fan. I'm a big fan of Retati.
I'm going to take another shot of vodka on that.
No, I'm not a fan.
All right, where are we at here? 30 minutes left. 29 to be exact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and anyone got any more of them topics? Those young ones really like?
What topics? We had topics?
I've been.
Well, we had one.
Yeah. to be honest, I don't exactly have that many topics to talk about because, especially Eve topics as such, because I have been just very much living in the IRL life rather than in gaming. To be completely honest, so
there really aren't topics is kind of a topic in that they're just not doing anything.
I mean, there's also the topics around the official EVE Online Discord, but I don't think any of us wants to touch that.
No, from what I've heard, no. Ah.
Sorry, I'm coordinating with my sister-in-law. I forgot that they have a neighborhood pool, and I was like, let's do something out in an hour. And she's like, well, we're going to go swimming in 2 hours. I'm like, hell yeah. Sign me up.
2 hours you're going to go swimming at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, why not?
Or for you, it'd be 3 o'clock, right?
No, 4 on Eastern.
Oh, you're Eastern? Okay. How long are you going to swim if you go there at 4?
Well,
an hour?
I go to the pool and I'm 3 hours floating in the water drinking beer.
Well, you guys with your fancy pools and shit, we go swimming when the fucking tide is up, We don't have a choice now.
Why
if the water isn't there, you can't swim.
You can't go to the low tide line and swim?
No? Do you know how far out that is?
I don't know. How high is your tide? How many feet does it move?
I mean, that was a very directed question.
Gotta ask him and
it was, and I have to look it up.
I mean, the tide at Hilton Head moves about 8 to 10 feet, depending on whether it's a super high tide or lower.
Well, he might be in an area where it's more flat, and so it's
pretty.
Yes, we have mud flats here.
Flats. Mud?
Yeah.
No sand? Your beaches aren't sandy,
no,
white, and beautiful?
It is up to 4 meters.
4 meters. That's a pretty heavy tidal swing.
Yeah, it is. We have around here is around about the highest difference in tides from high to low. Well, it's 3.7 to be exact. It can be up to 4 depending on where the moon is.
3.7 meters.
When the moon's in the sky like a big pizza pie, it's high tide.
No, it's amore. Okay.
No, it's high tide.
So it's 12 feet?
12 feet?
No, it's more.
No.
13. Be 13 feet.
Saltwater, I assume. Sharks, jellyfish, skeet.
We do have smaller sharks.
Dogfish.
We don't have stingrays.
Yeah, I think it's too cold.
Yeah, it's 13 feet.
There you go.
So yeah, the difference is a lot, right?
Depends on how steep it is. That's all. I don't know. You don't have pools? No pools, Soth? Hot tubs? Anything?
Nope.
Hot tub, swimmer tub combination? You know what a swimmer tub is, right?
So there's no pools in the entire country.
Is it just like a really elongated and lengthy kind of tub?
It's like a mini swimming pool that's narrow, and the pumps water at you so you can swim laps, but you don't actually go anywhere. You just keep swimming, and the water is just so fast that you never reach the end.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know who would buy one of those, but somebody does. So
I'd like to picture and stuff of what the height of the tide looks like. And you may notice that the height is different depending on the time of the day, right?
Yeah, it always does change a little bit, yeah.
Yes, because the moon actually has an effect of the on the tide.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun does too, right? So you actually have a higher tide when moon and sun are in line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, where we go to Hilton Head, generally it's, the lowest is 6, generally around 8, and if you have a super tide, it's usually 10. Yeah, I get it.
So we have some islands here off the coast, which I guess isn't unusual. At low tide, you can actually walk over. That's how far the water retreats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to walk over to the water, you would have to walk for kilometers.
Yeah. We call them sandbars.
Tide is every 12 hours and math 34 minutes, isn't it? I don't know. Don't ask me hard questions.
For what? 30? What were the minutes we were trying to count? All right. Either way.
Ooh, sorry, a little yawn there. Still recovering from Billy Joel.
From Billy Joel.
Did you hear the door, Soth? Was it loud enough? Did you guys hear
Nope,
that?
I did not hear the door.
I have my. What? Come in here. What are you saying, girl? You gonna say hi to everybody?
No.
You're not gonna say hi to everybody? All right, don't stick your tongue out. She squeaked the door for you, Soth, but you didn't hear it, so it's a shame.
I did not hear it.
Doesn't count.
The squeaky door. The soft whistle door.
So do we want to do final thoughts early?
Sure, we can do final thoughts early. There's not really much to talk about here today.
It's a slow week.
Slow week. Don't forget, we do have a meta show coming up in a little bit here.
Yeah,
a little over an hour.
We already did our Europe versus America segment. We've done food. We've done complain about CCP.
We didn't really complain about them. We just said we don't know what's going on. We'd like them to talk to
we're
us
just we don't know what we don't know what their objectives are. We don't know what their what they think their kind of success is, like what their success conditions are. Like there's a whole bunch of things that we don't know about, like what CCP wants to do. Aside from probably, the refactoring of the faction system.
Which they said was going to take months to come out. We're all like, months? What are you working on? But anyway, final thoughts. I guess I will go first.
You will.
My final thought is that I hope everyone has a great week. I hope that your days are comfortable and that you have good food like candied bacon and real apple cider and no maggoty cheese.
No maggoty cheese. You're going to make me actually have to maggot cheese. Oh my god, it's like a real thing. Don't. Holy shit.
Yeah, it actually is.
They describe it as a creamy cheese. I'm like, yeah, it's creamy because you're eating bug guts.
It's a Sardinian delicacy.
Yeah, they can keep that.
Kasu Martsu. Gordon Ramsay even has a segment on it. I'm going to watch that sucker. It can cost up to $100 per pound. The world's most dangerous cheese.
Yeah, I'm okay with not eating that.
It's a pecorino. Okay. Just get a pecorino. Max. All righty. All right, who's next? We're going to go... Let's go to you, Soth.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, got a bug in here.
You have no
thing I can think of. Don, if your rye bread is too hard, then make sure it's not made from ground rye, but mashed rye.
And it has the caraway seeds in it because they're the best.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Mashed rye with caraway seed. Okay.
Like crushed rye, right? It's not supposed to be ground up. It's also way healthier because like all of the good stuff is still in the actual kernel, right?
Mm.
That's why rye whiskey is better for you too. It's all natural.
Regular whiskey.
I mean, it's basically as good as eating rye bread, right? Drinking rye whiskey.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's always the middle ground. Drink fast. Fast is awesome.
That's what I'll do next week. I'm going to live sample some rums from a distillery. That's what I'm going to do next show. Next week, we'll do some rum sampling. That's what we're going to do. Unless I find those Zagnut bars somewhere. They got to be somewhere. All right, McLeod, your one last thing.
I mean, I don't really have any one last thing, but like it definitely feels like we're living in interesting times. Which I believe is actually a curse that from ye olden times. But oh well, never mind. We make the best with what we do. And to be fair, if anybody's concerned about like the state of the fucking world, the state of anything, the state of the game, the state of the production of, or the state of the development of EVE Online, well, you can only appreciate the highs if you've experienced the lows. So
there you go.
Beautiful.
Brings a tear to my
eye. Purposeful suffering.
Alrighty. I'm going to say my one last...
Way, but I want to say really quickly, that should not become policy at CCP, by the way, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fucking using that as policy.
Yeah. I'm going to say that, my favorite cheese is one last thing is, it's a tie between a good Havarti and a triple cream brie. That would be, obviously rye bread factors in there. And rye bread is the best bread, as my family will note. When they say, what sort of toast would you like with your eggs, Mr. Erik? I say, rye bread, of course. Rye toast. And strawberry preserves and rye toast. Preserves, not jam, not jelly. Freaking preserves.
Blackcurrant.
Oh, and it seems that Meta Show and Brisk are going to be talking about the state of the game as well in the Meta Show. So,
all right, that sounds like
don't want to miss that because
yep,
they're very succinct and powerful when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I will be watching for sure. And with that, what?
Who's on with Brisk today?
I don't know, Brisk. We want to give us a little teaser. By the way, we still didn't get our freaking shower pick. Goddammit,
bastard!
But once Erik finally gets a hot tub, we'll
you probably had a bath. That's why.
We're waiting. Anything? Bueller?
Nope.
Bueller?
Dunk Dinkle and Noisy. Okay.
Live
there we go.
Oh, that'll be a good show. That'll be a really good show. There's two great people. Alrighty. So that said, we've got the Meta Show update. You guys make sure that you're watching that in about an hour and 14 minutes from now. Tune in for the Meta Show. Brisk with there with Noisy Gamer and with Dunk Dinkle. Never a CCP apologist. Okay, that I'm calling bullshit on that. But okay. Jeez, love you, Brisk, but bullshit. Sorry. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the last few weeks of summer because I'm already planning Halloween and Christmas here. I'm done with summer.
Of course
you guys have a great, great, great time. We'll see everybody.